Okay, apparently we're switching to another match, presumably for now. I don't know if we're gonna stay on this one until the end. But it's Cat up against Monk Gyatso. Now I know nothing about this match other than Cat is currently winning the Hard Rock 3. It's 2-1 in favor of Monk Gyatso, but Cat should be able to tie this one up. Considering what I know of Lonnie's Hard Rock flow, I'm surprised he's getting this score, but there's actually a chance for him to take this one back with that break from Cat. He does have the combo lead and enough time to take back the score. But with that break from Monk Gyatso and Cat holding enough at the end here, we'll go 2-2. We'll see if get the MP. That was Cat's pick. Let's see how this match has gone so far. Amadi picking Orbital Strike as the warm-up. That is insane. That is a horrible thing to do. Going right into Hidden 2, though. Now, I did see in one of Monk Gyatso's earlier matches him doing pretty well in the Hidden 2. He's pretty solid at the skill set. I wouldn't consider it necessarily his best strength, but he's good enough at Hidden 2s that if his opponent isn't as comfortable, he can definitely abuse that weakness. We'll see if that's what's happening here. But previously in this match, Monk Gyatso winning the No Mod 5 by a huge margin, 600k to 80k. Cat winning the Hard Rock 2 by a solid margin, similar to the Hard Rock 3, like 60k, 80k, 100k win. And then Monk Gyatso winning the No Mod 6, 280k to 120k. Then obviously the Hard Rock 3 we just saw, 270k to 230k. So it's 2-2, but Monk Gyatso has won on the No Mod 6 already, so maybe sensing the low AR weakness from Cat. However, right now, Cat doing a pretty good job keeping the combos even. As I say, that does break, but matched by Monk. Another break from Cat, though, once again matched by Monk Gyatso. And it's going to be very, very even for the time being. Monk, though, dropping again, and since we're only a third of the way to the map, these regular misses from Monk Gyatso might prove to be an issue. Cat, though, matching right back, and it just seems to be a tug of war. That chain miss, though, from Cat, it's going to go in Monk's favor. Just the fight to see who can keep their head in the game the best on these low AR jumps. I believe the hardest section is yet to come. Probably expect to see a lot of chain misses there. Go into the Pentagons. I would say these are probably the hardest jumps in the map. Monk dropping. Cat, though, hitting these pretty well. Getting through them into the squares. Built up a nice score lead now. Monk, though, dropping on the squares, and Cat hitting pretty much the entire, it's a really difficult aim section. That's going to build him a nice cushion to fall on. Let's break! break right after. Oh, that's a really unfortunate break. There's a good chance there to build up some more score. But fortunately for him, Monk doesn't have really any combo. Dropping some 100s there is going to lose him a bit of score. 20k in the lead, Monk drops, so does k4t. 8th of the map to go. Another break from Monk Gyatso. Having a bit of a misread, but not having a huge chain miss. Both players hitting that stream. k4t still just clawing onto that 20k score lead. I was fine a few misses, but traded by Monk. And with that chain miss from Monk Gyatso on that big Pentagon section, that will be k4t taking the break point here. Winning by 37k off the back of hitting a very difficult section of the map, getting half the miss count of Monk Gyatso. Huge win for k4t here. Monk Gyatso noticing that as well, him getting through that section. And going into k4t's next pick, I believe that was the first breakpoint of the match. Gives him the momentum here. Winning the Hard Rock 2 and the Hard Rock 3. Unsurprisingly picks the Hard Rock 1. Now we can see the bans here. k4t having banned out both of the speed maps, and obviously considering the margin he lost on Nomad 5 by, that isn't surprising that he banned those maps. And Monk Gyatso banning Nomad 3, Nomad 4. Not wanting to play the more gimmicky Nomads, it seems. And also, update to the JG Raytac matchup. It was JG's pick on the Hard Rock 3. Raytac ends up winning by getting 690k, which is a really, really good score. 1.2k combo, 91.9% axe, so really combo gaming there up against JG's 509k, which he did say he was going to get 500k or 60k. So actually quite a good prediction, which does give Raytac his first point on the board in that matchup. Back to this one. This Hard Rock 1 is relatively standard, just aim consistency. k4t having some axe struggles though in the beginning. Gyatso being the first to lose the combo. k4t now building up the accuracy from the intro. So far, he has won both the Hard Rocks before this, not by any crazy margins though, so he's gotta keep his game steady. Fortunately though for him, another break from Monk Gyatso. k4t still keeps onto that combo. Considering though this map is very long, almost 5 minutes. Oh no! Over-tapping that stack, misreading it. Loses him the combo, but he still managed to build up 50k score in the process. Now Monk Gyatso is going to have to try to keep the combo as best he can if he wants to take his breakpoint back. k4t missing on that big spacing, but Monk Gyatso missing just after, which always benefits the player who's already in the lead, so they can just keep their score lead steady. Finds a drop. Monk now finding himself with a slight combo lead. How long will it last though? Needs to last for a good amount of time. Unfortunately it doesn't. Finding several misses there. Drops his score even further. Now that 50k score lead for Cat has become 70k. Both players are holding on to solid recoveries. Cat first to lose it. Getting several misses, but Gyatso's gonna have to hold for a while longer. It's the linears. Misses on that section and can't blame him for it. Cat getting through a lot of the big aim in this ending here. And with barely any time left, it looks like he will indeed manage to close on this point. Consolidating the break point he got on the hidden 2. Go 400k for Cat to Monk Gyatso's 320k. In similar fashion as the other Hard Rocks, a hard-fought win, but a win is a win. And now Monk Gyatso down 2-4. Still a little bit of room, but definitely wants to win this next pick if he wants to stay in this match. Picks the double time 1, which is obviously a common slot that Monk Gyatso would want to pick into. This is a little bit different to a normal double time 1, but I don't think it's going to be anything that Monk Gyatso isn't going to be able to play. 222 BPM, 10.3. I would say the hardest parts of the map probably isn't the aim. I would say it's the spaced 1/4 pattern space triples you'll see in this match, in this map, space doubles as well. Imagine we'll see a lot of breaks on those. Since aiming 1/4 spacing at 222 BPM is very hard. Also, worth noting that I think in JG versus Raytac, JG's now up 4-1 after winning the DT2. But in this one, Monk gonna be the first to break on the DT1, which is not what he would like. Cat hitting these sections here, getting through that space burst, hitting those space doubles, hitting those triples as well. A little bit behind in accuracy, but if he can hold on to this combo, be huge from hitting that space triple triangle pattern. Does finally break on the big aim. Gives Monk Gyatso a chance here. Just having that one slider break so far. And that score lead is gonna fade away, especially with the AC lead Monk holds. Cat missing on that space triple. Now Monk Gyatso has free reign to build up this score lead as best he can. Third of the map left, not a huge lead, but that combo is going to just make it grow ever further. Cat breaking again, Monk Gyatso hitting that spaced 5-note burst. That was an awkward path, get double going into a stack where you have to not tap. Finally breaks on the slider aim, but in the process he's built up a really big lead for himself. With only a quarter of the map left to go, Cat would pretty much have to FC everything else, which with how the map is popping off right now would be very difficult to do. Cat though is putting up a good fight on this ending here, the score gap is narrowing. Oh, finally does break though, and actually there might not even have been enough time or density in the map left, even if he did hold. That is going to be a point on the board for Gyatso, a much needed one after being down 4-2, now making that 4-3. Both players having only one miss, which is actually super impressive. And asking if Hidden 3 is banned. I was going to mention Hidden 3 earlier, considering Hidden 3 is like a mix of no mod 3 ult with some tech aim control cut streams, and it's Hidden, which he won earlier. This seems to be a very good pick. The Hidden 2 was still very close, and this is obviously not low AR, so going to be a lot more comfortable, likely for both players in terms of the approach rating. The patterns themselves, though, do get pretty funky, especially on Hidden. Now, if there's anywhere you probably don't want to miss, it is going to be the intro. As I say that, Cat finding a very, very early break, but maybe just adjusting to the Hidden. The map does step up a good amount after this intro, so this is your time to get the easiest combo you're ever going to get in this map. Gyatso, though, breaking early, finding several misses actually, and Cat's accuracy denotes a decent level of comfort. Missing, however, will even it out. Finding a chain miss, though. And Cat actually breaking on the big sliders. A little bit unfortunate. Both players missing at the end of that flow. And here we go into the first cut stream pattern. Cat the first one to miss on it. But Gyatso chain missing right after losing a lot of score. This just seems like a slugfest right now. Misses left and right. And it's going to come down to who finds the fewest misses by the end. Both players leaving the ending of that section with a bit of combo. Gyatso holding a bit more. Cat, though, breaking is going to give Gyatso an opening to build up some score lead, and with how close the score lines are likely going to be by the end of this, building up this now 30k score lead might prove to be enough by the end. Getting through this respite between the two diff spikes. Almost 70k in the lead now because of this almost 500 combo. Getting through the big sliders. And he hits the flow aim. He is locked into the section. Finally does find a break, but 70k score lead proved to be enough to get this break point again. Cat chain missing as well. And as we wrap up the ending of this map, it's going to be Gyatso winning by about 90k, getting a much needed breakpoint back after losing the Hidden 2. Seemingly just more composed in the ending of that one. And now the scores are tied 4-4 as Gyatso picks DT4. Considering the win on DT1, I do like this pick. It is, I would say it stresses that 1/4 aim of DT1, but a lot more. Lots of space doubles throughout this entire map. Bit more reading focus, bit more dense. I'm finding a break. And this does feel like a map where you're going to expect to see a lot of misses just because all of these space doubles do not really give you a chance to break, but it's Gyatso is finding a lot more misses in the intro here. Cat, though, trading it back. The accuracy, though, on Cat's side, unlike the DT1, Gyatso, I think, missing on that slider tick. Neither player really looking comfortable or super prepared on this one, but Cat is coming out of it a lot better. Oh man, these patterns are rough. Hopefully even combos, about a 26k lead for Cat. Doesn't miss on that slider tick. Almost did though, I think about to go the other way. Cat finding a break, and I think with a map like this, you really don't want to miss here, since this is likely your best chance to get the combo, as Gyatso did in the middle on the hidden 3. And is doing it again here, Cat breaking on the slider. Gyatso now over 300 combo, and that is going to cause the score to fly to his side. He can hold it. Oh, gets through that section. Both players dropping, but he's cut down Cat's lead by a large amount. It's a narrow 5k in favor of Cat. Disappear away at any time, as it's doing so right now. Cat breaking again. And it's finally flipped to the side of Gyatso as he holds the combo lead. Still losing on the Yak battle. Oh. Play breaking on that. Both players getting through all these wiggles at the ending here. Cat, though, being the first to break, putting in a good effort, but now with not much in the ending here, Gyatso dropping, but I just don't know if there's enough time for Cat to manage a comeback unless Gyatso gets some crazy chain misses. He is not doing. And there we go. Gyatso wins it by 38k. Up now 5-4 after being down 4-2. I think, unsurprisingly, both players probably sight reading that one. And now it's going to be the last pick from anyone this match. Cat to last pick here. Either wins and sends us to a tiebreaker, or loses and Monk wins on the spot. Picks the DT1, sorry, the Nomad 1, which, considering you have to win on tiebreaker now if you're a Cat, I always like the strategy. Pick the DT1, the Nomad 1. If you win it, you have a good momentum boost going to the tiebreaker. But considering the tiebreaker is very high BPM heavy, from what I remember, yeah, it's like 230 BPM, which might end up favoring Monk in the end. But alright, we'll see if k4t can do it. See, Gyatso, a pretty solid aim player. But this is one of the more approachable skill sets in the game. I'm sure k4t is going to be pretty solid on this as well. Holding pretty good accuracy in the intro. And through all of those 5-note bursts. Also, I believe in the JG versus Raytak matchup, JG coming out on top in the end, I think winning 6-2. So GG's to him. So far, from k4t and Gyatso, nobody missing up the intro, quarter of the way into the map. Monk, though, going to be the first to break. Now it's time to see if k4t can hold onto this combo for a good amount of time, hitting that massive aim section. Into the next calm section. He's got some time here to build his combo up, start padding the score lead. Nerve-wracking slow section. k4t, though, unfortunately breaking at the end of that stream. Meanwhile, Gyatso's holding the recovery after that initial miss. And although k4t has a nice 50k score lead, as long as Gyatso can hold, he will end up taking that back. Does break though, right on the burst again. Seemingly both players missing more on the tapping than they are on the aim itself. k4t matching though, and now 60k in the lead, no combo really for anyone. Holding a slight AC advantage. He's looking good in good position to take this one and send us the tiebreaker. But he's got to keep his wits together at the ending here. Gyatso now holding the combo lead and the AC lead. I think k4t dropping some accuracy. Is somebody praying for a TB? I'm hoping for a tactical miss from Gyatso, and there it is. k4t now 300 combo in the lead. Just needs to hold on for a bit longer to make it 5-5. As the ending of the map rolls out, I cannot imagine a world where Monk is able to take this at the ending. Which does mean we will have ourselves a tiebreaker on our hands. As k4t hits pretty much the entire ending of the map, getting 600 combo at the ending. Very, very impressive. Okay, tiebreaker time. Well, you have to saying, did you miss in the stream part, which he actually did. But 5-5. Now, I believe this tiebreaker 230 BPM, relatively tapping heavy, and depending on k4t's stamina cap, that could prove to be fatal. Gyatso did win the No Mod 5 by a huge margin, which was a similar BPM, being 234. Obviously not going to be as stamina heavy, but the tiebreaker is going to be as stamina heavy as the No Mod 5, but there's still going to be elements of that there. and Cat banning after DT2 and DT3 as well. I think Cat's chances here in this tiebreaker will all be based on do they feel comfortable in the tapping element. If they do, then the aim element, which they just won on, might prove to favor them. Okay, here we go into the tiebreaker. 5 minutes, strap in. I believe the match before this as well, Gyatso had to win on tiebreaker. So he's been in this position not too long ago. Play sitting at 1/3. You can see in this map plenty of aim, plenty of triple as bursts, some streams, a relatively higher BPM. Gyatso, they're going to be the first to break on that slider aim. Breaking again. Obviously, a super long map, so for any substantial score to be made, Cat will have to hold this combo on for a while. And that massive linear, both players do. Oh, those 1/3s are so deceptive. Combo is doing a lot of work for Cat, but Gyatso holding onto that recovery and on a pretty notable ACK lead, which if at any point Cat breaks, that ACK lead is going to cause Mani to swing back as the map progresses, but so far Cat doing a good job here. Does finally find a miss on the slider. Unfortunately for him, as Monk is still holding, hitting, actually nope, missing at the end of that 1/3. And now it's 30k combo, or 30k score in the lead for Cat, as the ACK gap has narrowed slightly. Both players missing that slider tick. It's not too surprising for neither players to have practiced the tiebreaker. I guess it's good for both of them. They weren't holding much combo to begin with then. Cat missing on the 1/3, and right now Gyatso is doing a better job holding on to his accuracy, which for a map like this, for holding a good percentage of the map as combo, can be very, very difficult. Sometimes just ACK is the way to go. And as the more tapping proficient player, it's doing work for him. This is at the end of that stream, so it's still 14k in favor of Cat. Halfway through the map now. Gyatso breaking on the name section. It's going to come down to who can play this last third better. Will Gyatso's ability to have slightly better ACK come through will be Cat's aim. Cat does find a miss. The player's getting through that 1/3. Gyatso is doing his best to claw back at this score lead Cat has. Oh, missing on that reverse. Gives Cat the combo advantage once again. Just narrowly holding onto that 13k lead he's been having for a while. A quarter of the map left. Does he hit the 1/3? Doesn't. Finds a massive chain miss at the end, and that's going to flicker the score much closer to Gyatso, as he's right about to take the score lead for the first time, I believe, since this map has started, really. Monk Gyatso hitting the 1/3 there and Cat chain missing. The biggest difference here. And now with a bit over 100 combo in advantage of Monk and the Yak lead, the ball is in his court. Does chain miss on the 1/3 once again, as Cat did earlier. Now the score is flickering both sides. It's as if it can't decide which player it wants to give the win to. This Cat holds onto the combo advantage once again in this ending here. Amani's actually doing a lot to keep the score close, finding another break. And Cat and the outro, can he keep it together on these bursts? Not much time left. Does miss on the 1/3, but doesn't flicker the score too much to Monk's favor. Almost nothing left in the map. Cat breaking again. Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. It goes to Monk right at the end. Oh my god. It goes to Monk right at the end from Cat chain missing. And he wins it by 2k on the buzzer. GG's. Holy. Oh. That was a phenomenal tiebreaker if I've ever seen one. Cat had it for a good time there at the ending. Unfortunately, that last section got him, and Monk Gyatso once again in this tournament winning on tiebreaker, but this time by a hair's breadth. GG's to both players. That was an awesome match. Wow. But that is gonna be it for this one. Glad I got to cast this treat of a match. I believe Monk Gyatso is going to be advancing in the losers bracket to go up against the winner of Lukioto versus RBUsion, I think. And Cat is going to be out of the tournament, but you gotta feel like you really put in your all for that one. GG's to Cat. Hope to see you in a future iteration. That's going to be it from me for now. I think we might be moving to a match soon. I'm not exactly sure. I think if we do, though, we'll get a different commentator. But for now, I'm going to be out. I was Vorty, and yeah, thanks for stopping by.